Hello everyone, welcome to Sure Learning. Working with decimals can be challenging and deserves some trial and exploration opportunities to be given to the students to master the concept. The decimal activities which I am about to discuss are a great way to start. Your children will love this engaging decimal activities which will strengthen their understanding of the concept. Decimal Bingo. For this activity, keep a list of decimals ready like 0.5, 52.3, 126.48 and so on. Make some bingo cards with numbers 1 to 100. Give one bingo card to each student. As you call out one decimal number, the students have to round it off to the nearest whole number. And if it is on their card, they need to strike it out. For example, you call out 52.3 and students have to strike out 50. The first student to achieve a row or column or full sheet can get a reward. By this activity, students grab the concept of decimals, relation to whole numbers and conversion. Snowball fight. Understanding large and small decimal numbers can be achieved through this activity. Divide the class into 2 or 3 teams. Cut a foam sheet or cardboard into small circles and write decimal numbers on it. Distribute equal numbers of pieces to each team. Make 3 columns on board. The first column represents the whole number, which should be written by teachers. The second column represents the smallest decimal number and the third represents greatest decimal number. One by one, team members will come, pick up a chit and write the decimal number they have got on board in the second column if the number is smaller than the given whole number. If not, they write the decimal number on the third column if the number is greater than the given whole number. The team which finishes the game quickly and correctly wins the fight. Rush hour. Sometimes our struggling mathematicians need constant review. They need to see a concept over and over and in numerous ways for an understanding to sink in. So I created a decimal of the day. Starting with the number line, it starts with tens. Both players start on 0. Then player 1 rolls the dice. They then say that number as if it was in the tens place. For example, if they rolled a 3, they would say, I have 3 tens. Then they may move up the number line 3 tens. Player 2 then takes the turn and does the same thing. The catch comes when they can no longer move up and land exactly on 1. At this point, they must move backward. For example, if I rolled 4 tens, but since I am on 8 tens, I cannot move up 4 tens without going over 1. I now have to move back 4 tens. 8 tens minus 4 tens equals 4 tens. So the game ends when a player can land exactly on 1. The student who reaches 1 first will be the winner. This activity gives children a competitive mood which encourages them to learn the things quickly. Shopify games. Now the children get to practice adding and subtracting decimals. The directions simply state to create an equation with a decimal in it. For this activity, ask students to place 10 to 15 items on the table like pen, pencil, eraser, books and so on. Paste a price tag on the items with decimal values like pen 2.6 rupees, book 5.25 rupees and so on. To tell the students to choose any 5 items which they like. Now ask them to add all the items' prices. By this activity, students practice addition. The same can be done for subtraction too. Ask the students to remove any item and ask them to subtract. By adding the same item, ask the students to multiply or divide whichever is required. Fraction funda. One goal of teaching decimals is to relate them to fractions. So this activity gets children thinking of different fractions that equal the decimals. Create a colorful worksheet where you begin with small decimals like 1.2 and ask the students to convert it to fractions like 12 by 10. So increase the difficulty level by adding larger decimal numbers in the next worksheet, which helps the students to progress on their understanding. For example, the children are given worksheets and asked to change 256 thousands to a decimal and so on. Since our decimal is in the thousands place, the denominator will be 1000 and the numerator will be 256. The same continues with next examples. These are some of the activities to keep your students engaging and active in your class. Hope you found it interesting to understand and improvise teaching methods that suits the needs of each and every student in your class. If you want to know more, subscribe to our channel. Happy teaching!